developing recipes for the cooking project, yes. I should technically be in there with you guys editing everything, because I guess this is like crunch time for the cooking project. This is like a few weeks to go and then we've done everything we possibly can for now.
What are you working on? The cooking project. But right now I'm gonna test this chocolate cake for the cooking project. I'm in the middle of creating my cooking project.
I started this project over 2 years ago for this project because it's so big.
On my Instagram, I kept saying, I've been working on this project for 2 years, but I just did the math and I was looking at my old emails and like messages, and I've been working on this for almost 3 years. This is the announcement of my cooking app. It is called Sunee and it's so much more. I have poured my heart and soul into this. I have never worked so hard on anything. I've never believed in a project so much. Sunee is my baby. It literally crashes every time I try to open that menu item. It is really disappointing to see though that this section is already buggy and crashing.
I didn't really think about the fact that 1,400 Rand would leave my account all in one go and I would be left poor.
There's no calories included. I know Sarah's Day she eats intuitively and she doesn't count calories, but it doesn't mean that other people don't.
Hi everyone! I realized that I don't usually open my videos by addressing the camera. I am still very new to this whole thing. It's been just over a year since my very first upload on this channel, which was a video about Sarah's Day. Sarah Stevenson, or as known as her brand Sarah's Day, is an Australian fitness influencer with over 1 million subscribers on YouTube and 1 million followers on Instagram. That video, I can safely say that, was the worst thing I've ever made. First off, it was shot on a webcam. Secondly, I didn't know jack shit about editing. I didn't know what a B-roll was, so if there were any instances where I had to put some things up on the screen with me talking over it, I decided to record the audio for those bits on my phone and sync it up with the laptop audio. Also, did I mention that I didn't have an actual mic, so the whole thing was recorded with a combination of laptop and phone audio. But to this day, it still remains to be the most viewed video on my channel, because the YouTube algorithm is an absolute. Regardless of the quality of that video, I am still proud of the actual content in it. It took a lot of research and I still stand by most of the things I said in that video. There were plenty of people who still enjoyed it, found it both informative and entertaining. Some even requested a part 2 because, let's just say, a lot has gone down in the Sarah Stevenson universe since. But in this video, I would like to focus on just one of those things, which is the Sunee app that was founded by Sarah. Now, I do want to make it clear that I am not solely blaming Sarah for Sunee's failings because, it's an app. There is an entire team of people working on this, and I think they are just as responsible. But as the founder and the owner, the face and the selling point for this app, I will still be placing the blame mostly on her. There has been a lot of reviews made about this app since its release, but in this video I want to focus more on the behind the scenes stuff, the scandals, and in general shady business practices that most people seem not to be aware of. Also, I'll say this straight up, I will be coming off as snarky in this video. A lot of people got annoyed by this in my previous video on Sarah, but there is nothing in this world that boils my blood faster than a scam. And by the end of this video, I'll prove it to you that that is what this Sunee app is. A scam. So Sunee app was released around January of last year and is currently rated 4.1 stars on Google Play and App Store, which is not an accurate reflection of this app, but more on that later. It is essentially a healthy cooking app with its tagline being "Healthy Cooking Made Simple." Prior to its release, Sarah was teasing a cooking project on all of her social media for quite some time, especially on Instagram. There were always recipes being posted, photos of her working on it, behind the scenes stuff. That went on for approximately 3 years. So needless to say, it was long awaited and well overdue, making a lot of people impatient and frustrated. Eventually, people did a little bit of digging and around September of 2020, found out about the app before its official release. All of this was public information that was very easily accessible, so it wasn't even properly hidden by them. One of the issues people had early on was with the privacy policy of Sunee. As one of the points read, "If you post or send offensive or objectionable content to us, or otherwise engage in any disruptive behavior towards us, we can use whatever information that is available to us about you to stop such behavior. This may involve informing relevant third parties, such as your employer and law enforcement agencies, about the content and your behavior." In my previous video on Sarah, I spoke about how she is awful at taking any criticism, no matter how constructive. She tends to reply to them in a very rude manner, or just blocks and deletes them altogether. But here, they are taking it a step further by essentially saying, if you object to them in any way or engage in disruptive behavior, whatever that means, they are legally allowed to contact third parties like your employer to silence you if you consent to their privacy policy. If this doesn't scream a red flag, I don't know what does. But buckle up, Buttercup, because this is only the tip of the iceberg. When Sunee finally came out in the January of 2021, the elephant in the room, the biggest issue that people had, was with the price. Sunee is the subscription-based app, but unlike most subscription-based apps, it doesn't even offer a free trial. There is a free version of the app that you could download, but it is extremely limited, with most features locked out. Furthermore, the subscription is not a monthly basis, but rather in an increment of 3 months. So they just straight away lock you in for 3 months, which is the shortest subscription that you could purchase. In Australian dollars, the 3-month subscription costs $48 with $16 per month. The 6-month subscription costs $73 with $12.17 per month. And the yearly subscription costs $120 with $10 per month. $10 a month is the least you have to pay with this app. I'm sorry, but if I'm paying that much for a cooking app, it better have outstanding, fail-proof recipes, work perfectly with little to no technical issues, and provide excellent customer service whenever required. But, as we'll see, Sunee couldn't be any further from that. One of the biggest issues people had with the app pretty early on was the tremendous amount of glitches and other technical issues. There were numerous complaints from people experiencing the app randomly crashing, people being locked out of their accounts even after purchasing subscription, a lack of customer service, even for weeks at a time. One of the main selling points for this app was that it offers nutritionist-approved recipes catering to various dietary needs that you can filter out, whether it is vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, etc. But one of the most common glitch people ended up experiencing is that the filters seem to clear out every time you log into the app or simply just go to a different menu.
Every time you go back into the main recipe page, all of the filters are cleared out. If you have any dietary requirements, going back to add the filter each time you want to go into a different menu item is going to get real old real soon.
Another feature that was really talked about was the recipe roulette, which is pretty much like a spin the wheel type of thing for when you can't decide what to eat. As the description on the app reads, not sure what you feel like eating? Well, take a chance on our recipe roulette and let fate decide. I mean, it's not your fault if you land on our choc chip cookie cake for dinner, right? Isn't this supposed to be a healthy app? But again, with the filters not staying on, you have to keep spinning the roulette multiple times until you get a recipe that fits your dietary needs. Aside from how frustrating it might be for people with serious dietary requirements like allergies or intolerances, You can't even filter out the recipes based on the meals category. Like say if you're after what to cook for dinner, you can't filter the app out with main meals only, so you might just end up having a huge thing of golden turmeric mayo for dinner. Speaking of filters, during the early release of the app, many realized that a lot of the filters were incorrectly labeled. Recipes with bacon and egg were labeled as vegan. Some recipes that were labeled nut-free called for almond milk in the ingredients. It just, in general, looked very poorly designed. The words were overlapping on images. The color scheme of pale pink and white was barely legible at times. The app is riddled with typos, which, although they did cop out by saying in their terms and conditions that content may contain typographical errors, so you are expected to use your own judgment. I know I may be nitpicking, but when you're selling an app for at least $10 a month that allegedly took 3 years to produce, spelling errors and this level of technical issues should not even be on the table. It seems so rushed, like some assignment they left till the last minute and completed the night before the due date. In the promotional video for Sunee, Sarah explained that one of the reasons why she created an app specifically is because it is useful when you're on the go. Say when you're at the supermarkets grocery shopping, you can just pull out Sunee on your phone to see what ingredients you may need.
When I'm out grocery shopping, I'm out and about, I want to grab some ingredients, I want to know what I'm cooking for dinner, and that's when I really decided I want to make an app. I want to make an app that you can just like grab out from your pocket in the supermarket, look it up, find the ingredients, boom. So efficient. That is like my mantra.
2 issues with this. Firstly, as of now, Sunee has yet to offer a feature for creating a shopping list. Without a list, a place to organize all the ingredients you need, are you supposed to just go by the ingredients list and roam around the entire supermarket till you find everything you need? That doesn't sound very efficient to me. Even apps like Kohl's or Woolies app offer this feature, as well as being free. Secondly, what Sarah described just then is virtually impossible to do due to the unreliable nature of this app with all the glitches. I mean, there are people who went to the grocery store to pick up ingredients only for the app to crash every time it's opened. $10 a month, y'all. Speaking of recipes, very early on, many people picked up on the fact that a lot of the recipes in the app are blatantly plagiarized. In fact, I don't even want to say much about this. I'm all worked up. I'm tired. I need a break. Just bring out the compilation. I actually have this Kohl's mag that has this recipe on the front cover, which looks eerily similar to what Sunee put out for those outside of Australia and New Zealand as well, I think. Kohl's is like one of the biggest supermarkets here in Australia that comes out with these free magazines every month filled with all sorts of recipes. In the Kohl's version, the recipe is called Better For You Strawberries and Cream Tart. Sunee called it Muesli and Yogurt Cups, so they just changed the name, made smaller cups instead of one big tart, maybe altered a few ingredients like using raspberries instead of strawberries, and that is enough to call it original content, apparently. When people pointed it out in the comments, I kid you not, I can't make this up, they accused Kohl's of copying them. Yes, Kohl's, a multi-billion-dollar grocery chain, is copying you. Sure. I guess with the compilation that I just showed, some of you might comment saying, oh, originality isn't really a thing anymore. Those recipes were around for a long time. They just put their own twist on them like everyone else. Well, fair enough. But with that, it begs the question, what's the point of spending such outrageous amount of money on recipes that I can find very easily on the internet for free or even just a fraction of the price? Even if you have serious dietary requirements, you don't need an app that costs at least $10 a month to make some very simple substitutions. Then the argument that can be made is, well, these are supposed to be simple recipes. They are attempting to cater to people with various degrees of cooking expertise. Something that is way too unique and original may overwhelm someone that is new in the kitchen. Well, in that case, it still doesn't explain why it is so expensive. For the recipes that aren't plagiarized, at least the ones that aren't obvious, the simplicity is laughable. I mean, what have we got? We have avocado toast, boiled eggs, a fruit salad, literally just chopped up fruits in a bowl, smoothie in a bowl, smoothie in form of cubes, more smoothie. The recipes also have this glitch where they randomly disappear. They're also very poorly developed, calling for ingredients that aren't even used in the recipe, getting different results even when the instructions were followed. Like this comment under their chocolate pancakes post, I made them the other day, mine went really easy though and still gooey in the middle, still yummy though.
Here, I'll put a side by side of these versus what it looks like on the app. Okay, I'm taking my first bite. No. Oh, it tastes so eggy. It tastes like a freaking omelet. I'm just so surprised they look nothing at all like the photo. It kind of makes me a little bit like, why not? What's going on here? Because I did it exactly everything that she said to do. All the same ingredients. I don't know. They're not fluffy at all. They're very like thick and dense and like squishy. Beautiful.
Another thing that I want to point out is how different the recipes look on the app and on their Instagram versus in real life. Now, I do get that when promoting recipes, you need to make them look as good as possible. Sarah's husband, Kurt Tills, is a photographer, so they probably have access to all sorts of equipment, the cameras, the lighting, not to mention editing, to make the food look as appetizing and embellished as possible. But when it looks this drastically different to the real thing, it is concerning and really explains why they don't usually share their subscribers' recreations of their recipes, unlike many other food blogger / influencer. It is practically false advertising at this point. Aside from recipes, Sunee also puts out health and wellness related articles every now and then, like this stellar post. 5 reasons why you're always hungry. Number 1, you haven't eaten enough food. Or if you're suffering from depression or anxiety, just be positive. Make your bed. I previously mentioned how the Sunee team is horrible at customer service, sometimes taking weeks to even respond. I am a firm believer that any response, no matter how unfavorable, is still better than no response. However, in Sunee's case, some of the responses that I've seen are so rude and unprofessional that you are just better off not replying at all. Like, they should have stayed in the drafts. While most of these responses are coming from Sarah, others like Sunee's nutritionist D. Zibara is just as bad. D. Zibara. Okay, I'm not going to make that joke. People were skeptical of Dee the moment she was introduced. This post on the subreddit r/Sarah's Day Unfiltered began to circulate around, which you can pause to read if you like. But in short, Dee's role in Sunee is to approve and fact-check recipes and categorize them in different dietary labels. The issue is that nutritionist is not a regulated term here in Australia. What Dee is doing rather is the job of a registered dietitian, which she is not qualified to do. Lo and behold, Dee actually replied to the post in the most defensive and passive-aggressive way possible. I am not new to nutrition, and I also have an advanced diploma in nutritional medicine as well as a Cert 4 in fitness. I am 100% qualified to call myself a nutritionist in Australia. I am a member of ANTA member number. LinkedIn have corrected those mistakes. At the time I made my LinkedIn years ago, it would have had certain options to select. you're now able to type it exactly as it should be. Just thought I would give this an update. To which the OP replies, yes, you are, because the term is not regulated. No, it's because I spent years studying it at a university. It gets worse. What's your full name and what do you do for work? P.S. Jacinta, whereabouts do you live in Canberra? I'm here this weekend. Would love to meet you in person. The next horrible response / customer service comes from Sarah herself. Now, a bit of context. Sarah's whole philosophy towards food and eating is very intuitive. She claims to not be about tracking calories, macros, or nutrition, but she is more about listening to your body and all that stuff, which is great if it works for her. But the issue arises when she designed certain features of the Sunee app as an extension of herself, as around what works for her. Say this cheesecake recipe, for example. A slice of this cheesecake comes at over a whopping 600 calories, which is not going to align with the health goals of most people. As this commenter points out, hey Sarah, this recipe was the one I was most excited for. It looks so good. I downloaded the app and have this recipe and plugged it into my MyFitnessPal for the macros / calories, and it says it's about 600 calories per slice. Are there any swaps I can make to make this a bit healthier that you've used in the past? Thanks, girl. Sarah responds with, hey check, most raw vegan desserts will sit at this same calorie point. However, as I keep reiterating over and over again, myself and my team, including our dietitian, naturopath, and nutritionist, do not believe it's as simple as low calories equal healthier. We focus on whole, real ingredients. It works for myself and us. Also, I have a serving tweets like this most days and I feel incredible and look pretty healthy if you ask me. Jeez. I feel so bad for this girl receiving such a snarky response to a genuinely valid concern. Also, it is a blatant lie that Sarah doesn't believe in calories. I mean, she has shown time and time again that she's got MyFitnessPal installed on her phone, she has shared macros of her food, she even made a video exploring which style of workout burns the most calories. Clearly, she does care about calories to some extent, and that is fine, there is nothing inherently wrong with that. But shaming this girl for doing the very same thing is probably one of the most appalling things I've ever seen. Like I said, this app is very based around what Sarah wants, what works for her, what works for the people around her, and not for the general public, most of whom may rely on calories and macros to meet their health and fitness goals. They have gone as far as to not even display the calories and nutritional information of meals on this app. Literally every recipe is gluten and dairy free because, surprise, that's how Sarah likes to eat, even though it is pretty redundant for most people. But honestly, more on that later. This is just one example. There has been so many instances of Sarah just being plain rude to her customers who were paying her their hard-earned money. The aftermath of this whole cheesecake saga involved this girl being absolutely disheartened and turning to the Sarah's Day Facebook group for support because, did I mention that all of these comments that I just showed you have now been deleted? The whole thread of comments just gone. Deleted and blocked in your typical Sarah's Day fashion. At this point, Sunee was a dumpster fire. The App Store and Google Play was flooded with bad reviews and ratings. The thing about app ratings and reviews is that, unlike YouTube or Instagram comments, there isn't much control that they could have over them. They simply can't just block and delete something they don't like. In fact, a lot of the bad reviews were coming from people who were blocked by Sarah. Aside from the snarky comments on mostly Instagram, Sarah and the Sunee team were absolutely delusional regarding how this app was really doing. Within a month after its release, Sarah and her husband Kurt decided to go on their podcast called The Health Code to talk about how great this app is and how they're absolutely blown away by all the feedback. It is so much better than they expected.
Until you have it on your phone, you'll ask yourself, how did I function without this? Like, it is so amazing. Like, the feedback we've received from our users has blown me away. So much better than I could have expected.
In reality, the negative reviews were getting out of hand. The ratings were plummeting, dropping as low as 2.6 stars on App Store and 1.9 stars on Google Play. I think deep down they were absolutely freaking out at this monstrosity. I mean, they went as far as faking a 5-star review by The Hell Code, the podcast that is run by Sarah and Kurt. At this point, what do you think they did? Well, pause the video right now and type it in the comments. If your answer was that they actually listened to people, took all the feedback abroad, and actually fixed all the issues, you would be correct. I mean, how else do you think they managed to get the ratings up? They actually listened to what people had to say. I know, shocker. Well, I could literally just end the video here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Well, they did not actually do any of that. We are really at this point of the video where I actually have to talk about this. June 2021. A post announcing a giveaway was uploaded on Sunee's Instagram page. Giveaway! How to enter? Head to your app store. Rate and review Sunee. Wait. What? Yup, this is not a drill. This was an actual post uploaded on Sunee's Instagram page, incentivizing this giveaway to better their ratings and reviews. Now, granted, they didn't specifically ask for positive reviews, but do you really think that they'll choose a critical 1-star review over a 5-star one that is sucking up to them? This competition ended up raising their ratings back up, as people left disingenuous 5-star reviews just to enter this giveaway. Even if this is legal for some reason, what they're doing is still highly immoral. Some people went as far as even reporting this giveaway to ACCC or Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, and soon after, the giveaway post was removed and an updated post outlining the pause of the giveaway was uploaded that started with, "Oops, sorry." Imagine committing a borderline crime, incentivizing for fraudulent reviews, scamming hundreds of people, only to go, "Oops." But despite this post, the reviews and ratings left for this competition were still up for a considerable amount of time, giving the illusion of this app being better than it actually is. The comments of people asking about the competition were either deleted or blocked, or were responded with a sanctimonious, "Sit tight, it's coming soon." It wasn't until the end of July, so over a month later, they finally put up a post announcing the winners of this giveaway with no mention of the ratings or reviews, and it was never addressed again. Which brings us to where we are today. Even after everything that I just said, there is still so much to say about Sunee or Sarah in general, so I would really encourage everyone to go on the Sarah's Day section of this forum called Tattle if you'd like to learn more about Sarah. Most of the receipts that I showed in this video were taken from there because, like I said, most of them are currently deleted. In my previous video about Sarah, I had some people come at me because I cited Tattle, which is a gossip forum, as my source, although I would admit that it was a poor choice on my part. If I'm seeking out archives of posts that were made by legitimate people which are now deleted, Tattle is a great source. It has all the receipts you'd ever need. Furthermore, I would really want you to think deeper as to why people seek out to alternative platforms like a gossip forum to express themselves. Why do someone like Sarah has nearly 60 threads on a forum like Tattle? Well, one of the reasons is because Sarah can't seem to tolerate any criticism and can only handle an echo chamber of yes men to be around her. Most of us are just sick and tired of being silenced over and over again, getting gaslit by her and her followers as she continues to shove all her scandals under the rug and never addressed them ever again. In terms of Sunee, it is still around. People are still having issues which are not being addressed, as Sarah and her team prioritize making cringe-worthy Christmas carols instead. They couldn't even reshoot it to get the light off his face. It is important to note, especially if you're someone who's still wanting to buy Sunee, Sarah has absolutely no qualification in anything she does. She went to uni a couple years ago for a completely unrelated degree and ended up dropping out eventually. Now, as someone who had to drop out of uni themselves due to financial and health reasons, I would be the last person to judge someone for something like this. However, it is still important to have some sort of qualifications, especially when you are selling things, spreading health information. Last time I checked, being so passionate about a topic does not necessarily make you qualified, especially given that Sarah has all the means to pursue higher education at a relevant field, yet just simply chooses not to.
I'm nearly done.
Do you think you'll ever go back to university?
Probably not. I'm gonna say that's a 99.999% no.
I never went to university. I'm not educated in any way, shape, or form.
After finding all this out about Sunee, it leaves me to wonder, who is this really for? Sarah's fan base is predominantly young teenage girls, most of whom I assume would not be able to afford subscriptions to Sunee, as well as a lot of the ingredients that the recipes called for are pretty expensive as well.
I was, discussing with Tanika and Kurt, do we do a book? Do we do an ebook? Do we do an app? We all wanted to do an app because it was the most fun and enjoyable and relevant to our lives.
But here's the thing though, Sarah. You're not selling this to your friends, your family, or even to yourself, are you? It's like you managed to get everyone's input as to what they wanted, except for the most important person's, which is the customer. Because if you actually listened to what people wanted, many were looking forward to a cookbook and were disappointed when word got around that they would be getting an app instead. I guess Sarah finally somewhat got around to listening to people, as currently she claims to be working on a cookbook containing all the popular recipes from Sunee. So love that for all the people who already spent their hard-earned money on this app. The thing is, despite how much Sarah goes on about how passionate she is about food and cooking, how much of a foodie she is, her channel was never really about the food. It has always rather been about health and fitness. That is what she built her channel on. That is what she is known for. Till this day, some of her most popular videos are fitness and workout related. If she really wanted to make an app, a fitness app like Sweat with Kayla would have been more on brand for her. Because, and I mean it in the kindest way possible, but as someone who used to be a fan, who used to watch her on a regular basis, cooking is really not her strongest suit. And that is fine, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But then to go ahead and create an entire app about cooking, just because she says she is passionate about cooking doesn't mean that she actually is. Then it would show in her work. I mean, Sarah has mentioned multiple times how she doesn't really plan out or test recipes. She just kind of comes up with them on the spot. And I'm sorry, but I can really tell.
And the decision for the app was made for a few reasons. Number one, I found myself making recipes every single week, and I would post them on Instagram or put them on my stories, and everyone would ask, what's in them? What's the method? What's the recipe? And I just kept thinking to myself, what happens if I make a cookbook and then I make an amazing recipe the day it's published and I wish it was in the book? Like, I know myself, I make recipes all the time. Being a YouTuber and like a serial Instagram storyer, you guys are in my life every single day real time, and I kind of wanted the cooking app to be like that, where I can upload every single week and update you every single week, and we can kind of do it together.
That can very easily be done via something like a website or a blog that you could update once a week or so with new recipes. In fact, she already has a website where she could easily share recipes, but then again, it's probably not going to bring in the most money, and that is all it's really about, isn't it? So That's about it from me, for real this time. Thanks for watching, especially if you made it till the end. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to check out Tattle if you want, we'll have it linked in the description. And I'll see you in my next one.
I don't like chicken nuggets. I'm not very smart, so I find it hard to follow regular recipes from actual chefs. Sunee's app provides me with all the recipes I need, such as avocado on toast, eggs on toast, or if I'm feeling particularly fancy, avocado and ham on toast. The hens in my backyard have also already mastered easy dippy eggs by cracking their own eggs, and now I can too thanks to Sunee. Other value for money recipes include a baked sweet potato with salt, a plate of just carrots or even an entire beetroot sliced with salt, and well, nothing impresses the in-laws more than serving up 5 whole baked cauliflowers. However, if you're looking for some protein, perhaps an entire bowl of shredded chicken and nothing else is the recipe for me. Sunee has something for everyone. The app itself costs less than the price of 5 extra sweet and sour sauces at McDonald's. I also love recipe roulette. For the past week, I've only had banana bread for dinner, but the fiber has been good for my bowels. 1 star. Okay, I'm done.